Wanting other people to change the way that they are is an extremely reliable way to get depression. I truly believe that, because it can be so tempting to romanticize potential. I'm aware of that. I know that if someone is 99% of the way that you wish they would be, the type of person that you would love to have in your life, it can be very tempting to just say, why can't they just put in that tiny bit more effort? It would be so great. But it gets to a point where you realize that trying to get people to change is just not, it's just not a good use of anyone's time. People change when they want to. Change can only come from the person who would be doing the change. We can't force people to do things. We just can't. Romanticizing potential, I think this comes a lot from movies. We've all seen movies. Basically every movie ever is about somebody overcoming their character flaws and becoming a better person. And that's great for ourselves. It's great to have that inspiration for the ways that we can evolve ourselves, because I'm a huge believer in the power of the individual to change themselves, to improve as a person. I think that's amazing. But it's an easy, what seems like a logical jump to be like, oh, well, I can help other people change too. That's an unbelievably slippery slope that just isn't reflective of reality. Not only is it unlikely that you're going to get to change people, but also I think it's quite entitled. Because who are we to say, and this is an easy trap to fall into, because I mean I've fought this once or twice before and had to catch myself. Well, not even once or twice, more than that. But the idea that we know what's best for certain people, it's an easy trap to think, but the reality is it's very, very unlikely that we do. It's hard enough to know what's best for yourself. It might feel like giving advice is a good thing. It might feel like telling someone, oh, you should do more of this and less of this is a good thing, and we just want to help, but it's just hard to know what's right for certain people. I prefer to give out ideas. I'll definitely share my ideas, share what I think helps and what I think makes sense. But to tell someone specifically, you should definitely do this, or you definitely shouldn't do this, it's unusual that I can come up with something. I don't think it's never, but it's unusual that any of us can come up with anything that we can say with that much conviction, because things are just very rarely simple enough for us to do that. Real life is just it's so multifactorial that to come up with blanket statements for everything, as people like to do on social media, to come up with blanket statements on everything it's just unrealistic. So there's one thing I'd like to say about potential is I think it's a very inspiring concept to believe in for yourself, but at some point, for other people at least, we shouldn't bet on other people to change or trying to get people to change. We can hope for them, we can believe in them, but trying to get too involved in other people's change is a recipe for disaster. And for ourselves, I think it's important, yes, to believe in your potential, but also to accept the fact that you don't actually own your potential. You own what's actually come to fruition. If you can make something happen, then you own it. But until then, you technically don't own your potential. Your potential is theory. So be inspired by it, in my opinion, but it's, for me anyway, I don't think, I've fallen out of love with the idea of potential quite a bit, because it's just, at some point you have to show in real life what you can do. You can't keep betting on this idea of your potential.